I'm going to give you the 2 top secrets that I have seen work for countless clients and myself that helps you to go from where you are to where you want to be. Hi, welcome to Coach Christine Randall, and this channel is all about giving you coaching tips, tools, strategies, and a few aha moments along the way about how you can go from good to great or from okay to good, always moving forward. That's my motto, move forward one step at a time. And remember this, progress, not perfection. That's a big Tony Robbins thing. I'm not going to claim that that's where I came up with that. It's a very big Tony Robbins thing. Okay, so let's get right into it. There are 2 really major factors that all of you can use if you would like to move forward in some way in your life. If you want to be a high achiever, or if you're a high achiever and you want to continue on that path of high achievement. The first is self-awareness. And why I think that's so important when it comes to your growth is we can't get to where we're going if we don't acknowledge where we are. Yes, we need that GPS and that map to move us forward, 100% for sure. That's the target. And then the action steps to get us there. But we really have to know where we're starting. Otherwise, the GPS kind of just goes around in circle. Remember, if you put it in and you're like, it'll always say, where are you, or what's your address, or from where, if you're going to put that into GPS. So to know where you are, it's really important to become self-aware. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips that you can use if that has not been something that you would consider your MO or something that you've done before, or maybe you've known about it, but you don't really know how to access that part of yourself. So I'm going to give you some strategies with that. So number 1 is self-awareness. The second thing that I think is incredibly important is intentionality. Of all my top high achiever clients, of all the people that I've seen get their goals, when I've been most on point, most focused, most like a missile target towards something, I've been completely intentional. And I'm going to give you some ideas behind that as well. So we're going to just focus on these 2 things for right now. And in other videos, maybe I'll go in a little bit deeper if you guys think this is good. So you'll have to let me know in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, get the notifications, and give me comments. Let me know what topics are really resonating with you, what topics you would want more of, and if anybody is interested in any like mini coaching, I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. I think I need 50 subscribers. I'm not sure, but I would love to have lots of subscribers so I can deliver more content and content that you really want. Okay, so the first one was self-awareness. Number 2 is intentionality. Let me talk a little bit about intentionality because I think that's really important. When you're intentional with your day, you are operating at a very high level. It means you are very proactive versus reactive. When we're proactively going about our day, we are really intentionally deciding what we're doing, what we're eating, what we're not eating. We're intentionally deciding how we're going to respond to events versus just reacting to events. And what I mean by events, if you're in sales and you get a lot of rejection on the phone and you're ready to hang up the phone and you're feeling, not so good about yourself and you're really feeling down, that's a reaction. To be intentional, you could look at that and say, or be proactive, say, what's not working on the phone for me today? Is it my voice, my tonality? Is it the words that I'm saying? Maybe I need to change my environment for a moment. Maybe I need to do something physical to change my state and get into a better state of mind, and then go back to the phone. Or what did I learn from those phone calls, and can I apply it to my next phone calls? But you don't have to allow yourself to be super reactive and down in the dumps and feeling like not good about yourself. You just got to brush yourself off, get back up, and start being intentional with those calls. So that's one way that being intentional. When you have a goal, when you have something that you're working towards, when you have something that is really important to you, intentionality is something that you have to adopt every day. Now, here's the thing with intentionality. It's a little tiring at first. If you're always stopping yourself and asking yourself, am I doing this the right way? Or am I being intentional? Or am I being self-aware? That sounds a little burdensome if it's something that you're not accustomed to doing. And I get it. And I want you to understand that I get it. I struggle with it sometimes as well. By the way, if you're a coach, doesn't mean that you do all the stuff all the right way all the time. It just means I'm really aware of it, and it's worse if I'm not doing it. So when I'm intentional and I'm adopting a new sort of intention into my day or to my life, I have to actually physically write it, mentally think of it, and plan for it. So being intentional really requires some planning. It's some planning to control your mind. That takes a lot of energy, and you may find that you're a little tired when you first start doing intentionality. But let me explain this to you. Just like when you're first in the gym and the first time you're lifting weights, it might seem heavy, or the first time you're adding any kind of physical activity, you have to talk yourself into doing it. It's a little tiresome. You might not want to do it so much, but you are committed to doing it, so you do it. And that takes a lot of energy. After a while, when it becomes a habit, you're not having that inner dialogue where you're having to argue with yourself or convince yourself to do it. It becomes a part of who you are. And then that energy that you were using over here now gets to move over here to get into the action steps for the other goals and things that you have. So intentionality is something that you have to think of as a muscle that you're building. It's a brain muscle. It's a part of how you look at each day. Am I going to be intentional? Today I am going to be disciplined, be structured, be joyful. Maybe you're like really uptight lately and you need to make sure you're joyful, but it's really deciding. So that intentionality, I talk about it in Design Your Day for Success. The intentionality is so important for that growth. And so I really want you to understand that being intentional is something that won't just happen. You won't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to be intentional. You have to actually build that into your everyday living, because if you say you might do it one day, you might. I don't know if you'll continue to do it unless you are proactively adding intentionality to your life. Now, you've got the self-awareness and you've got the intentionality. With both those things, having them solid, I promise you, the transformation that you're looking for will be there. Of course, there are action steps and there are other things that you have to do, but those other things become secondary to really owning these two things. So I told you I would give you a little tip about self-awareness. I don't know about you, but I am in love with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my best friend. If you think it's your friend, you're wrong. It's my friend. All jokes aside, ChatGPT can really be helpful for you about helping you come up with some answers for yourself. So if you're someone that does not have a relationship with ChatGPT, I encourage you to look into it. I have the paid version, but the free version, I believe, is pretty good from what I hear. I haven't used the free version in a while, but check it out. You can go into ChatGPT, and here's the prompt that I want you to use. I want you to act as a human strategist, behavior specialist. And you want that in there, human behavior specialist and strategist. An expert, if you want to add the word expert. I need to become more self-aware. Give me a list of 10 questions so that you can help me on my journey of self-awareness. See what questions come up. Answer the questions. Get into a dialogue with ChatGPT. Be honest with yourself. And I'd be curious if you try it in the comments if any interesting patterns start to show up for you. You can even ask ChatGPT, are there any patterns that I should pay attention to? So after the 10 questions, hey chat, are there any patterns that you notice that I should pay attention to? I think you might be a little surprised hopefully in a good way in some ways, and maybe in a little bit of like, oh, I got to pay attention to this. So that's my little tip and strategy. I promise you it works really well. If you on the paid ChatGPT, you can ask the same questions. I don't know if the paid ChatGPT will give you better answers. I really don't know. I think it's probably the same, but truth be told, I'm not really sure. So that's the strategy on becoming more self-aware. Now, there are books about self-awareness. There's probably a lot of YouTube videos out there, but I think ChatGPT will help you out faster and just right at your fingertips, because you can get the app on your phone, by the way, if you don't have it already, if you have a smartphone. In regards to the intentionality, my tip and trick for that is every day you want to sit back and you want to decide how you're going to be intentional. And then perhaps at the end of the day, give yourself a rating from 1 to 10. How intentional was I? Did I follow that intentionality? I did about an 8. That's great. Why am I not a 10? Well, I kind of lost sight of it after I got distracted by X, Y, and Z, and I wasn't as intentional. Now, what did I learn from that? Now I can look at it and say, okay, I will, next time I come into a situation like that, I will be more prepared because I realized that I got distracted. So what can I do to avoid that distraction? When you give yourself that sort of feedback loop, and I'm going to give you a video on that, a feedback loop video. So, but this video is already almost 12 minutes, so I don't want to make them too long. So you have your awareness, that your self-awareness plus intentionality are the foundations for the transformation that you're looking to achieve. So you got a tip about how you can become more self-aware if that's something that you need. Do the prompt that I talked about. And then for the intentionality, what you really want to do is make a declaration on a daily basis and read it several times a day, and don't allow yourself the luxury of not doing it, because it is a luxury when you're not paying attention to the things that you said you wanted to do. So again, I'm Coach Christine Randall. I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you use the ChatGPT, I would love to hear the results that you get, and I'll give you some feedback. So like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Have a great day.